Hi, my name is Kira, and this is Kira of All Trades on Fresh Factory TV. Today, we have an esteemed guest. So what we found is that in the space of tech, in the area of startups, there are founders who are putting together teams of individuals and who have concepts that can really change the world. So what we have found is that when we do have these founders and they do have these ideas, there is information that people need to know to build their startups at a speed that would be comparative to some of the larger startups. So today we have a guest from a tech startup by the name of BlexiTech. Here we have Melvin Latimore, who is the CEO and founder of BlexiTech.
Thank you, Kira, for that introduction.
Thank you so much for coming. So, full disclosure, this is a company that Fresh Factory Inc. provides guidance and advisory services to. So I just want to say that right off the top. One of the most important things about advisory services at all are that they are supposed to help you. If you're not getting sped up, if you're not improving what you were doing beforehand, there's no point in having it. So today, what we want to do is to use this as an example of what tech startups or any type of startup company can do to use video in a way that can enhance whatever they're trying to do. So right now, if you're trying to give information to the public about your business, if you're trying to raise funds, if you are trying to grow your community, we're going to use this as an example of how you can do so. So I just want to start with some basic questions, Mr. Melvin. Tell me about how long you've been working on BlexiTech.
So, BlexiTech, I've probably been working on BlexiTech for about a year. But the product that comes out of BlexiTech, the project that we've been working on, that's been around about a 3 to 4 year span.
3 to 4 year span. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really important that you didn't just pop up out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. I put in a lot of work, a lot of groundwork. It started, the thought really started baking like back in college.
Okay. That's a really good place to start because in college, people do have some new ideas that can get kind of baked up. They have time, new ideas, new concepts that are coming out through classwork, and also through just socializing in the community and are finding out what problems need to be solved. So let's talk about your educational background. You are a tech startup founder. So what is your educational background? What did you go to college for?
My educational background, it lines up pretty good. I graduated from Jackson State. Shout out to Jackson State University.
Jackson State's getting a lot of motivation right now. Oh, yeah, Coach Prime is out there.
Yeah, we hot right now, man. We hot. I always knew it was something special about the university anyway. So I played ball at Jackson State. I graduated with my degree in computer science. So me leading from computer science to starting a tech business, it all worked out. And it's not even something that I just knew, was going to happen. But I did have a mentor that told me to make sure I look into where the world is going and decide my major from that point, because I actually had like 4 different majors. At first I thought I was going to be a cop, but then I got pulled over. I figured out, that ain't.
You said that's not going to get it. That's not it.
That ain't it. I saw that wasn't it, so I started really just researching the world and it led me right into tech because I was always naturally inclined in tech. I love tech, and that's the way that the world is going. Everything going to be some type of tech, from the door handles to light switches, all the most simplest things, so why not, become as knowledgeable as you can in that field.
And what you said is really poignant because Cure of All Trades is a show that discusses career, and a lot of people, because entrepreneurship is super important, and I think it's the wave of social media, I think a lot of people discount having a good basis in an education and a career that will allow you to get the basic knowledge and then take experience to be able to become an entrepreneur. I just feel like that part is being overshadowed so much. So thank you for enunciating those things, making sure to say, I got my college education and that is allowing me to take the next step into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, most def.
Yes. So let's see. You had the idea in college. You got your degree in computer science. And for people who don't know, I do want to break it down. What is computer science as far as a degree is concerned? What does that cover?
Computer science, it really covers the software of computers. It's computer engineering is going more on the hardware side, so building computers, playing with the motherboards and all the inside pieces. Computer science is getting straight into programming. So you learning algorithms, you learning different computer computer programming languages. You know, you got Java, you got C++, you got C#, you got all different types of computer languages. So you really just getting deep into the software fields and how to structure the software behind the different programs.
So basically, what you know as a software developer, is it a software developer essentially?
That's what most people come out as.
Okay.
But in my experience, so when I graduated in my degree, when I got my degree, I realized that I love knowing how the software works.
Okay.
You know, and I'm okay with knowing how to program it. I like knowing how to program it, but I'm not a programmer. I move around too much, and I don't like sitting in front of the computer for hours.
Because that's a lot of time. Yeah.
A real computer programmer is really going to put time into that, into that program. They're going to sit there and they're going to work on them bugs for hours and hours, turn on their music, get the caffeine, and they're going to go at it.
Yeah.
And I had my time doing that, but I started stepping into more of my just visionary field, and I'm more hands-on, so I didn't want to go straight into like being a software developer.
And so having the background, what you were able to do was to lay the foundation to then have choices to develop something on your own, to be able to supervise people who are developing, and then to be able to put yourself in the position of visionary, which it sounds like is the direction that you went. Is that correct?
And it worked out perfect. It worked out perfect for me, because can't nobody just tell me anything. You can't just tell me this works or this how it works, that's how it works. Nah, because I can dig in there myself and I can find out what's going on.
There you go.
So it actually allowed me to put the pieces together in the right order and be able to validate.
I really feel like that's super important. And I want to just make sure that I'm being very clear about the questions, because a lot of times, even as entrepreneurs that don't have a specific background in anything anything, is involved in the business. Some of the things that you mentioned were like algorithms, and algorithms don't matter what kind of business you're in, they're important. So you need someone who speaks the language of certain platforms in order to help improve your outcome or your output, etc., so that you can get the most bang for your buck if you're spending money on ads, etc., or if you're trying to get your community grown XYZ. You are the kind of person that someone would be able to come to, and you also are in a position to be able to, one, create something of your own and also manage a team. So if someone was in a business, if someone wanted a job, if someone wanted to know exactly what to do going forward, they would need to find someone like you. But yes, computer science, right?
Computer science.
Computer science. Yeah, it's definitely the way to go for the future. And a lot of times people just need to know, what is it and why is it important, so that they can kind of get a little bit of background. Okay, so about Blexi Tech. You said it's been about, I don't know, 3-4 years, right?
3-4 years on the actual project. Lexi Tech came into fruition about, it's probably haven't even been a full year for Lexi Tech.
Okay. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the project. So the project that we haven't mentioned the details of just yet. We haven't even mentioned the name of it just yet. We're just warming up. How much money do you think that you have spent out of your pocket in the last 3 to 4 years that you haven't seen a return on? Just investing in your own idea.
Jeez, man. My own money that I haven't seen a return on. I'm going to say it's around $20K.
This is your own funds from your own pocket. And a lot of times I think people skip over this very important point because you have to have some form of income if you're going to invest. What are you going to invest if you don't have a career, if you don't have a source of income? What are you going to invest? Sand? You cannot do that.
Talk to him, Kira. I wanted to quit my job so many times. And I actually did transfer jobs. I took like a 6-month period off. I had enough to build up to play with during those 6 months, but then I needed to go get another job, because you got to fund the dream.
You have to fund it. And what's so funny is there's so many things that you have to learn on your own before someone else can help you. It's kind of like I guess maybe my folks told me this about being a girl. It's like if you have a flat tire, it sometimes is kind of weird that someone sees a girl with a flat tire on the side of the road. Maybe that's a setup. But if you get down there and you start changing your tire and you down there getting at it, it's way more likely that someone can help you. So they see that you're putting in the time and effort. They see that you're making contributions towards your own problem. And then somebody else can be like, hey, let me help you out. So most definitely it's important that anyone who has a dream, a concept, you put yourself in your career in place so that you have something to commit to and that you pick the correct type of job, career, and then you get the education that goes around with it.
100%.
Yes.
It's when you have a dream, you really got to understand that nobody else is going to see your dream how you see your dream. And so you can't really expect anybody else to come in and, throw you a rope and help you out. You got to give it everything you got. If you believe in what you believe in, you're going to go get that job that you don't really want so you can fund your dream. You're going to put in late night hours. Even if you don't want to be a programmer, you're going to start programming. You're going to start doing whatever you got to do, to bring your dream to life because you believe it that much. And that's where I'm at, where I'm at now,
And I guess that really skipped over my next question because my next question was, why do you still work on it? But that was the answer.
That was the answer to that question. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I work on it because it's a bigger purpose. It's been times where I looked at this and I'm like, I done put them funds in. I done put that time in and I looked at it and I'm like, I really want to know what the heck am I doing this for? I got a job. I can be okay, but it's bigger than me. It ain't about me. It's a problem that our world faces. It's plenty of problems that our world faces. And if we, got the potential or we got the vision to solve those problems, it really feel like a class assignment, like your senior project or something. So
except for it's going to be a long time. I mean, like this is for the rest of your life. This is your legacy that you're leaving.
Right. But I got to finish this project. It got to get done. This ain't just for me. This for everybody. This for us.
That's correct. So I guess since we've already gotten to the most important points are that you've laid the foundation that you need in order to be in the position to be a great CEO. You have created the foundation that you need. And now it's time to talk about Blexi Tech.
Let's talk about
Blexi Tech. So welcome back to Care of All Trades on Fresh Factory TV. We are here with the CEO of Blexi Tech, Melvin Latimore. And now it is time to reveal the most important details that everyone's here to hear. Melvin, what is Blexi Tech?
Blexi Tech. I love that name. My partner actually helped me come up with that name. Blexi Tech is Black Excellence in Technology.
Ooh, run that back.
Run it back? Okay. Blexi Tech. Blexi Tech is Black Excellence in Technology.
I love that. I never knew that until this very moment.
Yeah,
No, I
just
love
learned
that.
something new.
Yeah, I just learned that. That's awesome.
That's where that thing come from. Blexi Tech.
So Blexi Tech, what does Blexi Tech do in the overall scope? So it's Black Excellence in Tech, okay? And what is its function? What does it do?
So what Blexi Tech does overall as a company,
At the company,
what we're doing is creating our own table. We have a lot of engineers, developers, brilliant people that's in positions where they don't want to be, where they're not comfortable, where they don't feel like family. And that's what we building at Blexi Tech. We're building a family where people can bring out the best of what's in them. If you're a developer and you want to be with Blexi Tech, we're going to put you in the best positions to build, to create the best outcome. And what Blexi Tech does is build teams around problems that plague our communities and find solutions to those issues. We use the latest technology. We use technologies that's working to achieve those goals and purposes. So we actually it's a great time right now. It's a great time because there's so many new technologies out, and it gives us the opportunity to be in front. It gives us the opportunity to be ahead. And now we can open up the doors to, like I said, our engineers, our developers that want to be a part of great things and use your skills to solve real problems.
honestly, hearing those words actually gives me like the chills, to be quite honest with you. Like, I don't want to get all emotional, but that is saying a lot. I come from a background where I have worked in STEM before it was cool, where I was doing educational programs for young women, for women of color, all this kind of good stuff, and there just was no one else really out there. So for you to be building a group that is allowing people of color who have these skills to feel comfortable to use their skills for the communities that they care for is like barrier breaking.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun and it's purposeful. It's purposeful because a lot of people hold back a lot when they in positions where they don't feel heard. They put in all this work, but they getting looked over. But when you at the table and, we putting you in a position and making you comfortable, and allowing you to be the chief of whatever you working on, we get to see the best in you. And I noticed that with the people that I work with so far. They have fun, and they look at the projects and it don't feel like work to them. Because they was already a front-end developer before I met them. They was already a back-end developer before I met them. So when I found out that you a back-end developer because you really passionate about, being behind them doors and making sure everything worked, I want to see what you got, I want to put you out there, and I want to let you, if you don't want to be out in front of everybody on stage, stay in the back end. That's fine, but we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. So I love it. I love to see everybody flourishing, because that's when you get the best out of people.
Exactly. So do you want to talk about a project in specific, or you just want to talk about Blexi Tech overall?
You know what? I do want to dive into the project.
Okay. So let's, You are really actually doing really well on these questions, because the next question I was going to ask you is what makes Blexi Tech unique, and you blasted that one. So we're just going to go right past that one. You've already shown us that Blexi Tech is completely different, that you guys are allowing people to give exactly what they have at a place that they feel comfortable, which is amazing. So project wise, so we're going to put a blanket over Blexi Tech and say that it is a community of tech personnel that can solve problems using the skills that they have. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So what you guys do is you take all of your collective information, experiences, and skills to solve problems. And you guys are calling those problems projects. So what is a project or a problem that you all are solving right now that you would like to discuss?
I get excited talking about this one, like, because we ain't just working on anything. So our first project is called the Student Loan Experiment. And clearly, by the name, our first project is to solve the student loan issue. When I see student loans, it's thousands, millions of us with the same problem. So why not come together and solve the issue? Imagine one person having to fight a giant, but imagine then I pull up to this giant and I got my people with me. So now it's a different story, So each individual got about $35,000, somewhere around there on average, in student loan debt. But they doing it by themselves.
They're paying it by themselves, right? They're paying it by themselves.
You paying it by yourself, but we all got the same problem. So imagine if, I'm gonna speak on best case. Best case. Imagine if we built a community of 35,000 people, and then we put, say on a monthly basis, 35,000 people give $1 to this one collective, and now we eliminating, and we can move faster than that because we can have them get $5. But if we just did it on a yearly basis now and we only paid it once a month, we eliminating the student loan debt for a person. Like, that's 12 people a year that we just getting rid of instead of them waiting 20, 30 years to even have it wiped off their credit if they get to the point of having to pay it off.
So my historical data says that the average individual holds their student loan debt for 21 years.
21 years.
21 years. Each individual holds their student loan debt for 21 years. And the total is about 43 million people that are student loan borrowers at this point. So does this problem solving method work for any of those individuals that hold student loan debt, or is there some kind of special group that this works for?
So it's not a special group. It's for any individual. If you got debt, then you can come to our platform and create a digital asset, use that to raise funds for your student loan purposes. It's no requirements, nothing special. If, we do have, and we haven't even really talked about what the project is and how the project works yet. I know we'll get into those details, but it is a lot of different student loan vendors, that we have to work with. So it may be some here and there, may have to go around, go through some extra hoops to get approved with that vendor, but right now, if they want their money, they'll figure it out, and we'll figure it out with them. So anybody could be a part of this.
So that's the ultimate goal, is to take it from its current position, which is, we'll call it in its infancy, to grow it to where anyone with any type of loan that's outstanding will be able to use the project that is created by Blexi Tech to pay off their loan. Is that correct?
That's correct. And your loan don't have to be outstanding. It could be a proactive route. We have plans for because solving the student loan issue on the back end, it's fine, but then you still have thousands of students enrolling every semester.
That's true.
So now, what about them when it's time for them to graduate? So we have plans for students enrolling in college to be a part of our program while they're going through school, and then upon graduation, you're already free,
That is light speed, sir. That's light speed, sir. That's light speed. And I think sometimes people are afraid to solve big problems because that gives them big obligations. And then there's big questions and there's big dollars that go along with it. So I just want to commend you, first of all, for being willing to take on such a large problem and to stay committed to it, even by having to commit your own dollars, your own time, finding people who can help you solve these problems. And now being able to sit on a public platform and commit these words, like it's out now, It's out now. It's out now. So people are going to hold you to it. And this is really big. I think people need to know how important your own internal motivation is in this, because you're not if you really want to solve this problem and it wasn't for, a legacy, you could solve it for yourself and be done.
Right.
But the facts is that this is going to impact anyone who is able to get their loan paid through the same means. So you building it for yourself and everybody else.
And I wish I could just, I wish you could see the vision that's in my head, because on top of solving this, we about to turn up, We're going to be at HBCUs, throwing parties, throwing block parties, throwing hackathons, because we know that, it's the resources for our people is out here. We just got to get it in front of them the right way. So everything we doing, although it's going to be fun, although it'll be turned up, however it is, it's going to be, you're going to get something out of it. You're not going to be coming to our events and not leaving with a little upgrade to your brain, So that's one of our missions, is to empower our people as much as we can.
That's awesome. So one of the reasons why Blexi Tech is a good match for Fresh Factory Advisory Services at all is because we are virtual. We are connected to people all across the globe who are able to provide supplemental services for whatever kind of business that we work with. In this case, working with Blexi Tech is very simple. And one of the reasons why is my next question. Where is Blexi Tech located? Where are the headquarters? Tell me some of this information.
Tell you some of that. So Blexi Tech is a forward-thinking company, and we want to make life great for everybody. We want to be able to reach you from wherever you are. And Blexi Tech is a remote first company.
Tell people what remote first means. I know that it seems like we say it all the time, but tell other people what remote first means.
Remote first for us means that you can work from wherever, whenever. You can work from wherever you are. You don't have to show up at an office at 9 a.m. and be there. You don't have to be at a specific location if you want to be on vacation somewhere. Our main thing is accountability. We not hiring kids, so we hiring people that can be accountable. If you have a project, you have an assignment on this project and you have a delivery date, let's stick to it, and let's let that be that. You don't have to be here. But another reason for the remote first is because we're not just doing any type of remote first work. We're not just hopping on Zoom. Our goal is to be completely in the metaverse, have our offices in the metaverse, on top of having physical locations, because I never want to lose the physical aspect. You know, our events will be in person. We'll have in the future we'll have buildings. You know, a BlexiTech office here and there where you can go in and you can still go in and you can still throw on your headset and work in the metaverse. You know, but that's first. First is remote first.
I think that's huge. One of the things that happens with companies is that they lose people for the lack of flexibility, for the lack of being able to allow adult, accountable individuals the option to choose their location to work from. Of course, take care of your business, but being remote first most definitely will allow you to recruit those individuals who want the laptop lifestyle, as they call it, right? So those individuals, they already are showing you that they have a different frame of mind, that they want to enjoy their time, that they are able to balance work and play, etc. So this just gives you an opportunity to bring in those different types of minds that will be able to enhance and hopefully speed up the delivery of the things that you have by making it a comfortable environment for those individuals. So yes, that is super, super, super important. And I'm glad to hear that more companies are going that direction. So yes, nothing should keep an individual who is qualified from working with BlexiTech and being able to contribute to the overall projects. So I want to get into some questions about growth. My first question would be, how is BlexiTech positioned for growth? How are you in a position that you will be able to grow your company and grow the community and grow those numbers? How are you able to be positioned for high growth potential?
BlexiTech, like I said, BlexiTech is forward thinking. So just the simple fact that we work with some of the latest technologies that we have access to, it allows us to grow with this technology. Because one thing we know for sure is that, you know, when we start talking blockchain, we start talking Web3, a lot of people don't know what these are. You know, they know the words. They heard the words. Oh, I heard of an NFT. I heard of the blockchain. You know, but exactly how does it work? You know, are they teaching it in certain schools yet? You know, probably not. So that's when we have opportunities to come in and help teach that. And I know you probably gonna get on my head about the teaching part later.
No,
but
you're good.
Funny. But you know, it's plenty of opportunities just to simply teach the product, teach the technology, one, and then two, the problems that we working on solving around these technologies is plenty. You know, we working on tackling monsters. You know, the student loan industry is a massive industry. You know, so we gonna have to put some time in.
It says $1.6 trillion owed by those 43 million individuals. That's
$1 trillion.
That is the monster.
Yeah.
That's a monster.
So
yes.
when we talk about growth, you know, right now on my team, it's 5 of us. You know, and it's 5 of us, and that's $1.7 trillion in debt. You know, so we're gonna come strong, but we're gonna need to scale. We're gonna need to bring in more people. We're gonna need to bring in we're gonna need to grow our community. Like, it's so many opportunities for growth.
It sounds like you have a great basis of a team in order to develop this project to where it needs to go. So for the audience, please just give us a brief description of what each of the titles do. So you said you had a front-end developer. What does a front-end developer do?
The front-end developer brings the design to life. The front-end developer makes sure everything is appealing to the eye and make sure all the images, everything in the front end works and looks as it's supposed to.
Okay, so that's one.
That's one.
And now we have the back-end developer. What does a back-end developer do?
And our back end developer make sure everything works. The buttons, when you clicking buttons, you submitting anything, you running any type of functionality, the back end person makes sure everything works as it's supposed to.
Okay. So we have the front end developer, the back end developer, and then you have a marketing specialist.
Yes.
What does a marketing specialist do?
So while we deep into our tech fields, our marketing specialist is creating surveys and talking to people and understanding exactly what do the people want. He's making sure that we got different perspectives as we build our products. And he's going out to universities, talking to people, understanding, what they know about these different technologies and bringing it back to us. So that way, as we build it in the right directions.
Okay, so that's front end developer, back end developer, marketing specialist, and there's two people missing.
Two people missing. That's the founder. That's the co-founder. So
okay,
myself as the founder, I act as the visionary / lead engineer. So what I do is I focus on the technology. I learn the technologies that we can use. Actually, I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. I focus on the problem. So when I see the problem, I start looking at the different technologies that we can use to solve the problems, and then I put the teams in place. I go through and I learn these technologies. I test them out, introduce them to my teams, let my team come and help me put it all together, like how this work, how that work, and we all work on it together. We figure it out. Okay, will this work for our use case? That works. All right, and then we got our co-founder, Kervin. So Kervin is our lead developer. So once we figure out these technologies and understand that they work, understand that they are what we need for our use case, we start going through all our designs, workflows, all the paper stuff, software stuff these days. But we start from the basic level, as basic as we can. And once we have a good, clear blueprint or direction in place, Kervin start building. He start building, and not only building himself, he delegates to the other developers, and that's his main focus, is being the lead developer.
Nice. I just wanted to make sure to specify these things because, again, career-wise, and even to be able to call on the right person that's required when someone, even a business owner, is trying to accomplish a goal, it's really important to explain to people who does what so that they can solve the problem by calling the correct person, or someone can develop their career in the direction that they want to go based on what kind of things it is that they want to do. So yes, this sounds like a really great basis to solve a lot of problems, and you can always bring in more people, as you mentioned, to be able to take this basis and then bring in more individuals who can assist to make it grow a lot quicker. And that scaling can happen. Okay, so again, your educational background was in computer science. And how many years of relevant experience do you and your team have? If you put them all together, if you have one and they have one, then it's 5. Then what do you think together all of your years of relevant experience are?
Dang, to put it all together, I would say that's probably about 17 years.
Good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because a lot of times people think, well, I'm experienced this amount of years. And also a lot of people don't give themselves the credit for the things that they did before they took a formalized level of education, because you were messing with this stuff before you went and got a formalized education. But a lot of people don't include that. But yes, I think 17 is a good amount of time.
But if I'm gonna include before education,
see, that's what I mean. I'm like, people don't give themselves credit. So if you say 17, you're giving 17 as the concrete number. That's great. But if you were to include all the other things, that means it's a lot more. So yeah, that's totally fine. And why are you all uniquely capable to execute the company's business plan? Why are you guys all the right people for this work?
We are the right people Because I feel that everybody on my team is special in the field that they focus on. When when somebody has an assignment, including myself, even just starting from, envisioning the product, I get excited about it. It's I feel like if I'm gonna put my time into anything, it's if I'm gonna put my time and energy into anything, I should be excited about it. And I get excited about it, and I can hop on a whiteboard and be on it, and time will just fly by, And when I look at my team, I see the same thing. I see, when our front end developer, when it's time for her to go to work, yeah, I mentioned her because we do have some females on the team. We got some code developers. When it's time for her to go to work, she tune in, to the point where I gotta know if I'm ready. Like, dang, like
you like, I don't know if I'm ready yet
like,
today.
Hey,
Gotta get my time together,
yeah,
right?
I be having to like, oh, hold on, now. Like, she tune in, but when she tune in, you could tell that she tuning in from the inside out. Like, okay, I'm ready. It's my go. And then the same thing with the back end developer. Like, when it's time for her to go in, she going in, and she don't need nobody to interrupt her because she really enjoying what she do. The same, it's everybody on our team. I feel like we did a real good job with this initial team, just putting people in places that they need to be in, that they want to be in.
That they want to be in.
Yeah,
that they're trained to be in, that they have all the desire to accomplish the goals. Yes.
Right. And then when you look at the project, they look at the project, and whenever they see it or see a new update, it's just like, wow. Even myself, I'm just like, wow, like, this really what we did, bro? Like, this really what we brought to life? So I want to work on it some more.
Hey, I have a question. Does everyone on your team have a student loan debt?
They don't.
Oh, okay.
Most of them, most of the people on my team do, but it's a couple of them that don't.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it couldn't be 100%, but it's good to know that, you can pay it off, because you don't have anybody who's, super senior. So that means that it can be paid off. It can be done, but it's definitely some people on the team who have that internal motivation to assist because they also have the same problem. Awesome. So what motivates you as the founder, and how are you showing commitment to the business?
What motivates me is the purpose of solving this issue and opening up doors for so many people. Robert Smith did, back in 2019, he paid off the 2019 Morehouse class. He paid off their student loans. And they did a project behind that. And it showed the growth in the people, like, after they left college. Because when you leave college and you get those bills, and those bills can be like, it's bigger than a car note. You probably get a bill for like $600, $700, $800 for your first student loan payment.
Whew.
So when Robert paid off that class's student loans, they was able to go into their careers and not have to worry about that extra bill. So now they can contribute more to society. They can contribute more to communities. They can contribute more freely, because they're not stuck into a 20, 30-year debt. So that's big motivation for me, that we can solve an issue for so many people and allow them to actually live their lives freely and contribute in a way that's great for them. And not only that, this keeps me going, because I'm a natural problem solver. So it's like, how can I stop? I can't stop, because I can just go solve a problem for somebody else. I could just stay in corporate and solve their problems, but what type of fulfillment does that give me? It don't really give me much fulfillment, so I find, when I like to manage my energy a lot, because I love to put the time into this project, because I want to be able to sit back one day and look at the statistics and say, wow, it's been X amount of months and we paid off, we done set, about 2,000 people free already from student loan debt. Now we got millions to go, but even starting small. Even when that first $10 happened, when that first $20 happened that we paid to a student loan vendor, I might cry. I'll mess around and cry, because that's what it work. That's what we putting in the work for. Like,
right.
We want to see them numbers grow, and we want to see people have fun with solving this problem, and come together as a community and show them that we didn't go to school for no reason.
Right. You got the education so you could use it, right?
Yeah, so watch us outsmart you, like,
that's right. Yeah. So that actually just tiptoes right into my next question, which was how do you plan to scale the team in the next 12 months? Because what you're saying is that you are in your infancy, you are in the pre-beta testing phase. These things are coming out. This is your speech to the world saying that this is something that is coming forth. So that means as soon as the world knows about it, which will be quite very soon, that means you're going to have to grow. So how do you plan to scale that team in the next 12 months?
So I'm looking strategically. Of course, right now with us being in our infancy, we're working on acquiring funding for our team. And when I look at our projects and I look to see how people are working, I look to see the type of load that they can manage. And I look to see how they'll work with another person next to them. Because ideally, when I look at this issue, we want to get a set number. Say, as we grow this product, say we find out the optimal number for this product, we need 3 front-end developers or 3 back-end developers, and we need, maybe we need 4 or 5, but as we continue learning, because we ain't following no blueprint. So as we continue learning, we gonna find out what's optimal. Like, okay, all right, that's too many. We don't need, all that. But we gonna kind of try to set that number as far as what works for the project. And once we get there, I want to stop it. I want to stop it specifically for that product. So that project. So for the student loan experiment, once we get our optimal number, I want to stop it. We can grow our community, we can grow our project, and we can deliver our project. And I'm like, all right, let's stop. Let's keep it right there, and let's let that group of people flourish right there, And then when we move on to our next project, depending on the bandwidth, it may be the same thing. Now we need 3 more developers specifically for this project. Or we may have automated it enough, and have it running fluently enough to the point where we could take our 3 developers from over here and put them over here on this project. So it's gonna be a lot of moving pieces. It's gonna be a lot of scaling, but we want to make sure for sure that we can handle the load that we'll be dealing with. And when it comes to our target, we shooting for HBCUs. I'm coming for HBCUs, and I want to hire, people that's already, into their studies. People they already looking and saying that, yeah, I can't wait to graduate so I can get a job. But one thing I learned about that is that when I graduated from the HBCU and then jumped into the corporate world. It was different from what I thought.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity to help guide people into the right fields. It don't even have to be Blexi Tech, but by us showing up at universities, knowing that we need to scale, we're going to definitely market where we need to market. But by us showing up at universities, we can give insight on what that path looked like, for after school. And if you decided that you want to jump into this business, I'm going to probably put you at the table and just show you exactly what that business is like, as far as experience and what you'll deal with on a day-to-day, just to make sure you want to be in that position, because it's not a bad position. It just has to work for you.
Sounds like a good position for internships. Sounds like times for people to do their capstone project alongside Blexi Tech to get some information about what it looks like. So that is a really good way to scale the team, because this allows you an opportunity to pre-interview for a longer period of time, the type of individuals who have shown interest and to determine if they are the correct fit. Awesome. All right.
I feel like I definitely. So I mentioned that when I get when we can get the optimal number of people that we need for each position, oftentimes when I sit and think about the projects and the projects to come, and I think about Blexitech, I feel like it might be a waiting list. Like,
I think now, here's the thing. See, I listen to this every week. I'm excited about this every week. You are working on this every day. Now there's the public. Now the public will know. So where there might not have been a waiting list, where there might not have been that type of expectancy, there will be an opportunity for that now, because now the information is out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're probably right. There probably will be a waiting list very, very soon. And that's what you want, is that you want to have anyone who is ready to work, anyone who needs the product, anyone who wants to participate in the community, anyone who wants to keep up with you, to be along for the ride. And that's why we're not waiting for this interview. This interview could be done 6 months from now, after you've met, all of these things that you want to do. I know you want to do a lot of things, Melvin, but one of the reasons why I've gone ahead and gotten this interview underway is because I want whoever wants to participate with you in Blexitech to know now, to be able to go along with the rest of this journey, because the journey for different companies is a different time period. But, why keep them from participating with you if they want to?
Most definitely. So
that's for vendors, that's for users, that's for investors, that's for whomever. So now you're out. All right, so let's talk about the product. What are some of the major product milestones? So we talked about having a wait list. What are they wait listing for? What are some of the steps? So you said beta testing, XYZ. So kind of walk me through some of these major product milestones.
Okay. And before I walk you through them,
yes,
I'm going to just really give an overview of what the product is.
Oh, please.
Okay, so the student loan experiment is a marketplace. It's an NFT marketplace where users can come in, upload a digital asset. Not just one, users can upload multiple digital assets and sell them, and the profits will go to your student loan vendors. And it's not a one-to-one scenario, so you're not really looking for one big buyer on your NFT asset. You could have, 100 users that come in and just pay $1, for one share of your digital asset, or pay $100 for, one share or 100 shares of your digital assets. So with that, I forgot the question.
The question was, what are the major product milestones?
Okay, so that's the product, all right. And then as far as milestones, so it's the beginning of 2023. We plan to launch, and possibly earlier. We plan to launch our landing page. That's where the initial waiting list gonna come in at, and then we'll be able to get signups from there. And then we'll have our marketplace beta release at the beginning of the year, and that would allow users to come in, be able to upload digital assets. And we got all type of special things around these digital assets, that we haven't seen in other places. But I'm not going to disclose those yet. So we'll launch our beta site, and you could come in and you can actually get a feel for how it works, because we expect to have teachers alongside to help people actually understand what they upload and how to upload it. So if you don't understand, if you don't have a digital asset, we'll be able to have somebody to help you with that. So launching our beta marketplace, and then after we do, a couple months of beta testing, we launching the full product. And once the full product is launched, and probably sometime before that also, we'll be scheduling events at different universities, to start building our communities and start allowing people to be aware of what's happening, how it works, and that way they don't have to just be, when the official product release, they don't have to jump in and then be like, oh, I'm in now. What I'm supposed to do, how it work. Our goal is to actually go around and educate before we launch our official product so people can be ready, people can understand what's happening, and people can be successful in using this product.
So that takes me to my very next question. I think you've answered it, which is, why do users care about your product? And what I just heard is a very much missing piece of any other NFT marketplace is the educational component. I always talk about this. Okay, so I guess I am going to get on you about it. I always talk about being able to educate people about things that are currently foreign. They may not be foreign in 5 years from now, but as a company that is blazing a trail, you have to be able to inform individuals about what it is, how they can use it, and how it's beneficial. So that's my question. Why do users care about your product or service?
So users care, one, because they have the issue. People don't have any assistance when it comes to, granted, they just gave, a debt relief program, for up to $20,000.
But it's going through legalities right now, so they may not be.
Yeah, so
they might be waiting on you.
So, and that's another blessing, even just to see how that's working, because it'll provide, say it do go through, it's gonna provide some relief to people, but you still got a lot left to deal with. It's still a lot of debt left to deal with. So people will care, one, because they have an issue, and it's beneficial to have a community, to help with the issue, and not have to do it by yourself. And then two, you get the opportunity to learn this new technology instead of waiting until it's out 10 years from now. It's going to be out a lot sooner than that, 5 years from now. But when it's out, you don't want to be at the back end of the line waiting to get it or waiting to understand how it works when people already benefiting off of it. Because like the blockchain technology, I feel like this is $1 trillion industry. And it's an opportunity, like I said earlier, for us to be ahead of the game. So it ain't no point of us being at the end of the line when this stuff is released to the mass. So we want to help bring our people up. And let's get to it now. So when it become the norm, we are already ahead of the norm. Like, we've been doing that.
So does Blexi Tech student loan project have any competitors?
We do have competitors. I will say that, obviously, there's plenty of marketplaces out here. There's plenty of marketplaces that are, I don't know what purpose they have. They're
just there.
Yeah, you can. The NFT world, you can. For some reason, people spend digital money a lot faster. Like,
it doesn't feel real. We always talk about tangibility of things, and it doesn't have the, this. So it doesn't feel real. Like, that might be a reason.
People been paying millions for NFTs, for digital assets, and I be looking and I just be wondering, like, dang, okay, what you gonna do with that afterwards? But it's a lot of different marketplaces out here. It's a lot of different marketplaces. And people creating and selling digital assets for what reason? That's a question, And our goal is to make sure that question is answered. When you're selling, there's a purpose behind it, and it's a real use case for these digital assets. And there are, other companies that have, like, I do know of one company that is doing something as far as student loans, but we got more buying power.
Okay, so what is the advantage that your student loan project has over that competitor, for instance?
The advantage is the buying power in the blockchain community. The opportunity to build a community itself is an advantage.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so you got, you can have like how blockchain projects succeed is through the communities. So it made so much sense it made so much sense to build a community around the issue, and then with the competitors that I see, it's more of it's not really a community type vibe. It's a tool that you can use. Maybe you can collect your spare change, send it to your student loan vendors, so now you moving at, pennies at a time, or depending on how much you go shopping a day, you moving at a small amount of change at a time, but it was just a 15-year-old girl that just sold an NFT a couple months back for like 38 million.
She could have went ahead and paid a whole bunch of people's student loans off, right?
Like inside that community, she could have knocked off so many student loans.
Truth. So yeah, the community component is a big deal. So that takes me to my next question, which was, how do you plan to market this project service?
We plan to market. Of course, we'll use the traditional channels, social media, but then we also plan to get out, and be a part of the communities, be at the HBCUs, not just for homecomings, coming up for different events at different HBCUs, at different universities, coming up for different events, and actually having a segment where we can teach how this works. So then once people understand how it works and they understand the benefit of it and how it could benefit them, especially in this student loan project, you got the blueprint, you got the roadmap. So now it's just about joining the platform, getting with the community and making it happen. So we want to inform people first. We want to get out here and inform people, show them how it works, and prove that it works.
I love when you talk about educating people.
Yeah, I know we're gonna be talking about this a lot more later.
I love when you talk about educating people. Yes, it's like my thing. It's my thing because a lot of times people just don't know, and they don't always say, I don't know. They just continue not knowing. So, it's part of my legacy is to educate as much as possible. And this is a really huge start. Hey, can I teach classes too?
Can you teach? Of course.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Of course.
Just making sure that you have it on video that I can teach classes. I want to make sure.
That'll work out. That'll work out for me. I might not have to go in there and teach.
Oh no, you're gonna teach.
Okay.
You got to. Okay. So that's awesome. That's an awesome marketing plan, and it's very important that people get a chance to again be part of the community, be part of what's going on with Black Tech as it grows, and we're gonna get here to the end. So now we're gonna talk about financials. One of the reasons why we're recording this is because you want to raise money, whether it's now or at some point in the future. As the most recent thought that you can come up with, how much do you want to raise in your first round of fundraising?
In my first round of fundraising, I want to raise $50,000 in my first round.
Okay.
And I say that because, I could shoot. I done seen NFT projects raising millions, but I don't know what they went through. I don't know what they're using the money for. And I still have a lot to learn as I continue to grow. So 50,000 to me sounds, it's enough for me to move the project. And it's enough for me to take care of the people, at least just for the first round. It's enough for me to take care of the people that's around me, that's helping and working with this project, because I always want to make sure that they know that they are appreciated. And, I want to make sure everybody around me is good, So once we get the first round, now we pushing our product to the market. Now we going for the second round. Now The second round may be, $250,000, a couple $1 million. But initially for our first round, I want to go with $50,000.
Okay, that's fair. a lot of times, and I'm glad that you elaborated on it, because a lot of times people think, oh, well, I got to do what everybody else is doing. Do what's comfortable for you. And sometimes meeting your goal or meeting your expectation is enough motivation to get you to the next level. So that's perfectly acceptable. And you've already answered the next question, is what did you plan to do with the proceeds from those rounds? And I'm suspecting that you're saying you will pay the individuals that are on your startup team. Is that correct?
Yes, I want to pay the individuals on my startup team. Also, we have a number of software that we use that we're using them on the scale that we can afford them at right now. But then when we go to production, we're gonna have to pay for these services, and some of these services cost, $1,000 a month. Some of these services cost, they come with a nice ticket,
Mm-hmm.
So my goal is to make sure that we can support for our first round. I want to be able to support our product for, a couple of years, and make sure that the funds are there to be able to, use the services that we need to keep this thing alive.
So my next question is, what milestones will this round of financing help you achieve? And your answer was that you want to pay for products, you want to pay for services, you want to pay for the support end that's necessary. Mm-hmm. And the milestones that are going with this are you going to have the product out with 50,000? Are you going to be able to beta test it with 50,000? What are you going to be able to do with 50,000 as far as milestones are concerned?
Beta testing.
Beta testing.
We get our product out, beta test it, and now at this point we have users. We have, we can get a nice amount of users at this point, mm-hmm. and we can get our lessons learned, build, measure, learn. That's the lean startup method. So we can
say it again.
Build, measure, learn.
Okay. That's
the lean startup method. And we can get our product out, we can get our users in, and we can test and we can prove, how this works. So then we make adjustments, we come back again, and now we're ready for our next round. And now we got active users. Now we done paid off some loans. And now it's limitless as far as what we can raise.
Right. And obviously I have said this many times, but I definitely believe in the lean startup method, because you just keep a lot of people out of your pocket. If that's the case, you go in and you're raising huge funds, investors who are giving huge funds, millions of dollars, they want huge returns, right? And that keeps you in the driver's seat to be able to own equity in your own company and to be able to provide all the metrics that you need for yourself so that you are comfortable with where you're going next. And then by the time it's time to raise, you'll be very informed on exactly what you need. But that lean startup method keeps money from being the problem, really. You'll get all the information that you need in order to go forward. And then after that, the sky's the limit. So awesome. And we're at the end.
We're at the end.
We're at the end. We
did this thing up.
We did it. So the only thing that happens at the end of these types of interviews is that you have informed people about who you are, who's on your team, what the product is, how it's going to impact them. And you've kind of already warmed people up. But now, how would an excited potential user stay in touch? How would they participate in your community? How can they be in the crew?
Okay, so initially you can email me at Melvin, MELVIN, at blexitech.com. You can email me for any type of information, whatever you need. You can email me there. And then we also have an Instagram at blexitech. And then pretty soon we'll be launching our landing pages and our mock-up sites where people can actually get a view of it. And we'll be opening up our community. So stay tuned. We'll be opening up our virtual world community where people can actually come in and get updates about the product. You can get close to asking me, Curvin, any other founding team members. You can ask us questions about the products. You can actually provide feedback, and with those emails, that's actually what we plan to do, is to send out invites to our virtual world.
And one question they've been asking is, do you have any commentary for the student loan community for, in general, if you were to give a comment to the people who you owe student loans to, what do you have to say to them?
To those vendors, huh?
To those vendors. So there's a place. Social media is a good place for that. Any place else that they can give that information?
Oh, they're gonna be able to give it directly on our website.
Okay.
We made it known that we coming for you. We coming for you. Y'all been hitting our people up to collect these sending out these massive bills to our college students. Like, yeah,
pressure.
We about to team up and we coming for you. And they gonna know on our sites that you can voice exactly how you feel to the student loan industry, and it's gonna be a vibe.
Wow, I really want to make sure that you sit in this feeling for a little while and realize what you're doing. Like, I know you work on this every day. I know your team works on this every day. Hey, everybody. But what I want for you to understand from my point of view is that you are definitely letting people know in the general public about your project. But also, I think you're laying the groundwork for revealing how startup life looks and how an individual can not have to lay the groundwork every single piece by themselves. By revealing this information and not keeping it quiet and not holding every detail to yourself, maybe you are helping the next startup founder move the needle forward more quickly. I really hate this, I got to keep every detail to myself so that the next person can't do it. We want the next person to do it. We want you to use this for an example of the questions that you can get your friend. Maybe you don't have an advisor, but maybe you have a friend or family member with an iPhone who can sit next to you and ask these questions, because these are questions that investors want to know, potential community members want to know, people who are interested in your product want to know. And if you get this information out quickly to the public, then this puts a little pressure on you, but also it's answering all the questions that people want to know. So you don't have to go back and do this 30 times. Like, now this is a valuable video that can be used for the future. Now there is a little bit of a example that you're setting for these individuals, and you're out there fighting a huge problem that people didn't even know that they had any help with. So you did a great job. You did a great job.
I'm happy to do that.
Yes.
I ain't have nobody really to help me, even figure it out. Like, I wanted to give up so many times just because I just couldn't find the resources. Like, I need to do this. I want to do this, but I just never knew what to do. And shout out to God, I just get a shout out to God.
Won't he do it?
Because even the vision, like, it wasn't my vision. The vision came to me. It came to me to use the tools in the right way. And all I had to do was execute, and as long as I kept going, resources started getting provided to me. Doors started opening. I may run across somebody that know a little bit about that, and then they give me the piece that I've been looking for. Like, just keep going,
Just keep going. Those are great words. Those are great words. Just keep going. So thank you so much for coming to the show. This is Kira of All Trades on Fresh Factory TV. Today we had Melvin Latimore, CEO of Blexi Tech. Please feel free to visit the website, www.freshfactory.com. Check out our YouTube, Amazon Fire TV, Roku channels. Be sure to visit Blexi Tech. And make sure that if you have any information that you want to give to the student loan industry, if you want to give them your 2 cents, go to Blexi Tech and let them know what you have to say. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
And thank you so much, Kira, for having me. And I do want to say one thing. You can also go to blexitech.com, and that'll pull up our site, and you'll be able to see a little bit of what we're working on, and you'll be able to reach out to the team from there. And also don't forget my email, melvin@blexitech.com.
You heard it here. Thank you so much for coming to the show. We'll see you next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Now this is when I wave to the people.
Okay.
Bye.